Welcome to GM Tips the pregame, and this is a pregame for Reign of Winter. I am actually, you're not going to see me on cam right now for a second, just because I'm trying to get things set up. So where the party is, let me give you a little rundown on things so you don't feel like you're lost here. The party got 47,410 experience points. They wiped out a bunch of Rasputin's troops. Orin, the cleric, has been skirting the concentration camp and basically wall of firing, taking spell slot after spell slot of his wall of fire to get things resolved. So just keep in mind that's one thing that is happening right now with the party. So he has done a tremendous amount when it comes to getting things done for the party. So just keep that in mind. Now, the second thing that's going on, you'll see me walk by, is that Painven is in a pocket dimension. He has just come back from the pocket fey dimension because he called upon his god to get him there and then go from there. Ooh, yummy. Got a grande caramel macchiato coming. Yum. Is all I can say. And so he's coming back from that dimension. He was wounded. He wanted to get out of the fight to kind of get his perspective and has done that and is coming back, in a sense, to help the party out with the information that he got from this weird-looking fey creature. She kind of is dressed like a little babushka, but she is, her name is Polina, little Polina. And little Polina is a death fairy. And so she likes to stick around graveyards and stuff like that. Kind of a nasty little thing, but she's not necessarily against the party because she senses the Baba in them. Now, mind you, part of this adventure, and this is going to be a huge spoiler for you guys who watch this. Early on, Baba Yaga, her black rider, the last of her riders, is dying when he comes upon the party in the beginning. And he bestows upon them his mantle. And that mantle gives them a +2 to an ability score. But it's also a geas that pushes them onward. So, they are driven after, say, more than 24, sometimes 48, depending on where they're at, and if they're staying on the main path, back into doing what the Baba needs them to do, which is rescue her. Her daughter, Elavana, and Rasputin have plotted to take out the Baba and rule the world of Galarian. And so it's going to be interesting. Now, the three that you'll see in the middle of the table kind of turn. You'll see a knight figure, a little figure, and one that's turned away from you on the flats. That's Greta, is the one that's turned away. The little one's Remily. And then there is Rothar. They're going across a field of tanks that have been destroyed, and they have just gotten done dealing with some daemons that are out there that were kind of spider-like and sucking the souls from the tanks. What they don't know is in the tank is the brain and soul of generals in the Russian army that Rasputin has taken in this dimension and used to automate those tanks. And every one of those tanks has one. That's why they're more than just an automation. So they're very dangerous. The people that look like they're in a line are a mortar and machine gun troop that are firing their light machine guns and mortars that are firing into the party, trying to deal with Greta and Rothar. Remily is invisible. But beware that the searchlights in this gulag have a spirit light. And the spirit light allows you to see creatures that are in the ethereal dimension, the astral dimension, or invisible. So you basically have no cover if those lights are on you. Now, way back towards the far corner of my camera, you will see some figures. Those are Painven, and Painven is a rogue. He's a half-elf rogue from Keonan that is chaotic neutral and kind of a bit of a spy. He's an interesting little silver-tongued bluffer. His claim to fame is I'm only dying when I'm telling the truth. And so it's pretty true. Payman is a consummate liar, but usually in a good way. The other one is Janie the Janny, which is part of you got Rothar, Damien. Damien, the fey-blooded human sorcerer from Taldor. He is a sorcerer, but he tends to go towards enchantments. He does have offensive weapons, but he is definitely the silver tongue. And so he uses spells like Dominate and Charm to his advantage. And so he is much the charmer and the bluffer, just like Painvin, but he's more the lover than the fighter, if that makes sense. So that's what you got going on. Oren is a Azamar cleric of Sarenrae. He has taken a fire domain, so that's why the walls of fire and the fire walls. He can do those fire spells as part of his daily spells. The one that you don't see on there that is flying above them in the battlefield is Scott's character, which Scott's character is an Azamar war priest. I believe Regathiel is his deity. Or Imperial Lord. I don't remember exactly. You know, he's had a couple different ones, so please bear with me. I try to keep up with his. In this campaign, I should know it a little better than I do. And I know him well on his other things. It's just his deity he doesn't call on very often. So I don't get the advantage of, you know, that situation and talking with that situation. So put that there. Scott was in this area flying. Yeah, he was over the tanks, if I remember correctly. And he was flying in bound to try to deal with what was above and beyond. So he is coming in, doing his damage. There he is right there. All right. So he's coming in, and that's where the party is. Now, they've taken a long time. Why? There's been a lot of troops, and the party has been extra cautious, which I can't say I blame them in a sense, because honestly, rushing into the battle and dying is not probably the better part of valor. But at some point, they're going to have to push forward. If they don't push forward, they're not going to get to their goal. And Rasputin has been using an ability that I'm not going to divulge how he's doing it, but he is able to do it. And he's got a machine that is pulling the thrice times 10 part of the first world that was Baba Yaga's into this world. And what it has done is it has restored an old monastery that's at the heart of this. And that is really where a lot of the machinations are going on. So keep in mind that it's become one of those interesting situations for the party. And he is peppering them. And one of his brothers, and I won't share the whole brothers, but a Nosferatu brother, was a former monk, has come out and faced the party and taken a pounding. Are there more? That's a good question. And it's a good question to ask. There is the bear hunter, and she is in there, and the party doesn't know much about her. And there are others that are coming. There is a Cossack Dullahan that is leading the show. And so there's a lot going on right now that they are going to have some fun with. It's not going to be an easy battle. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I think they can do it. A lot of GMs would say, well, this is death on a stick. Yeah, but you got to know the party. It's death on a stick to most. But this party has done really, really well. And they've kept people alive. Remley has died. I mean, everybody has died with the exception, I think, of Orin the Cleric. And it happens. Look, I don't care what campaign you're in, stuff happens. And you're going to be facing situations you didn't expect. So keep in mind, when you're out there on the battlefield, there's a lot going on. And unfortunately, the players have faced some serious things that could have killed them. I really and truly think they're going to, with Remley, make it all the way through this and get Baba Yaga out. The question's going to become when they get Baba Yaga out. Because I know what they're going to want to do, and I think they're going to make a mistake in doing it. They have to look at the greater part of the good. And that's where sometimes parties don't. And I would say this to any party adventuring. Be really, really, really careful at what you do. Because sometimes you make decisions that you think is for the better good of the party, or the greater good, and you make mistakes. And you put your party in a situation that you really don't want to be in. So, that said, have a great morning.